In the most recent installment, Batman Forever, Two-Face and the Riddler come together to draw the Bat out of his cave and crush the hero.
Two-Face is a marvelous villain. I created him as a symbol of Jekyll and Hyde. And he had a coin, a $50 piece, that he scarred on one side. And if the bad side came up, the scarred side, he would commit a heinous crime. And if the good side came up, he would commit a wonderful altruistic deed.
A&B, coming, Mark.
We have Tommy Lee Jones in the movie, who is marvelous as Two-Face.
Blind, stupid, simple, doodah, clueless.
Well, Two-Face is, just, he believes in brute force. I mean, his plan is to kill Batman. It's that simple.
Kill the Bat! Sounds like a good idea.
He'll wreak havoc and wait until the Bat comes to restore order and try to ambush it.
Harvey Two-Face, who is literally split in two, one side with the vestige of whatever rational judicious thinking he had as a district attorney, and the other side, a crazed maniac killer.
Very few people are both a summer and a winter, but you pull it off nicely.
And then Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Casting's a bitch. I have to be a criminal.
The Riddler in real Gotham life is Edward Nygma.
My invention beams any TV signal directly into the human brain.
Plans to be a bigger and greater electronics genius than Bruce Wayne.
Realizes that, it's not who has the answers, it's who knows the questions.
The mother of all riddles. Who is Batman?
He's got a little touch of Fred Astaire, a panache, joie de vivre.
Like the jacket? It keeps me safe when I'm jogging at night.
Batman will return. Over the years, Batman has taken on many, many different looks. Along with him, so has the city of Gotham. It's been a dark and dangerous land. In the new film, Batman Forever, director Joel Schumacher and production designer Barbara Ling wanted to create a brand new Gotham, a world's fair of crime and money.
I think the major challenge is probably trying to find an approach that would be different enough from 1 and 2 to be able to give the audience something new, but also be able to keep within the flavor of what DC Comics has done. Every little detail has to become part of Gotham. Nothing is a normal world.
In creating Gotham, a city that doesn't exist, we used electronic capabilities to bring together the past, contemporary architecture, and future architecture to create a unique environment, something that you haven't seen before. These buildings are, I think the tallest one's about 24 feet tall, and there are probably 24 or 5 of them.
We have a very large facility, about 137,000 square feet, and it's full up with our sets. A movie studio's stage is about 30,000 square feet, so it gives you a sense of the scope.
I wanted to make a living comic book, and when you're doing a comic book, the reality police aren't hanging over your shoulder all the time, so you have the license to really use all the imaginative and creative people around you.
To me, it was very exciting and very important to build a Bat Cave this time. And the Bat Cave is 4 or 5 levels. So there's the upper level, there's a subterranean cave, and then there's even a sub-sub cave where the Batboat sits on water.
Along with that new Gotham, Batman had to have brand new gadgets, better, more elaborate tools in the superhero's trade.
The Batarang, which is a very different kind of Batarang that he's had before, and it articulates into like 3 or 4 different modes. There's a Bat grappling hook. Riddler has a very cool cane.
Was that over over the top.
We challenged technology on Batman Forever, and it was a great experience. This is what we call an animatic, which is a template for the way the final scene is going to appear on film. We take this composite of the computer-generated elements, and we duplicate the moves. In this case, you're seeing a move that is being made by a motion control camera on real miniatures that is exactly the same as the move that you saw on the computer-generated model in the animatic. Batman, in this case, is going to be added as a computer-generated character. He's actually going to be made up from whole cloth in the computer. When we get all done, we'll have a scene that appears as though it was all photographed at one time.
It is a totally different experience dealing in the comic world of Batman. It's sort of a reality and an unreality at the same time. When you dream about it at nighttime, you're not quite sure if it's a dream or you're actually there.
Batman will return